Wow, can you believe that? Back-to-back videos. We're back. You know what it is. It's your boy Evan here with some NFL picks for week one. We just did the power rankings. Now we're going to go and I'm going to go through and do my week one picks. I'll have my own projected odds for the teams that I think are going to win. Based loosely off my opinion and then some things I've seen. You never underestimate, the wise guys. I always wonder, I can only imagine like the network that must be needed for Vegas to figure their things out that they figure out. Like they probably have fucking just a network of spies, like fucking anonymous, just, watch what players eat, do, who they shit, or they fucking like every little thing they do. It's kind of ridiculous. And every now and then, you do have your upsets and stuff, but I kind of like my picks for this week. There's going to probably be a few in here that people won't like or won't make sense to anyone. And I just started getting into the sport betting. I'm just doing the picks. I'm not telling anyone to go out there and bet or bet your money, do whatever. I use DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings for most of my MMA bets. But we did a little football. I think it all started with all of us last year when they made it legal to online sports bet here in New York, and pretty much myself and all my friends took to it like wildfire. DraftKings hooked us up with like $280 worth of free bets if you bet $5 on any game in the playoffs and you won. So, of course, all of America took the Chiefs over Pittsburgh, and that's how I got all my free bets. I've had my wins and losses. I had one that was super huge and I got wicked close to winning that. The odds were just astronomical, but that's a story for another day. We're going to go through all the week one games. I'm so excited. Like, I don't think I've ever been excited for a season in my entire life. To me, there's some up and coming teams that are going to come out of the gate strong and make a statement. So we'll get into it with these picks, and I'll, go through the matchups and tell you why I think certain teams will win and certain teams will lose. So we'll start with the first game. Tomorrow night, actually, Bills versus Rams. This matchup is super interesting, obviously, because a lot of people are picking the Bills to go all the way. There's people picking the Rams to go all the way. Some people think the Rams will regress. I personally don't think the Rams will regress. I just think that there isn't a team that evenly matches up more when healthy, and I'll get into that in this pick. So I have the Bills as a slight favorite in this game. The reason why I have the Bills as a slight favorite in this game against the Rams is because I just truly think that Josh Allen's coming off the season he's had. I think Josh Allen's just going to friggin' be able to ball out. And I think any team they roll in against, it's going to be tough for them to stop what Josh Allen and this offense is going to do. They rebuilt their offensive line, added some good young guys that have a lot of upside. They graded out well last year. They have weapons all over the place, whether it's catching out of the backfield or whether it's through the air. I think the key matchup here is we're going to see how Dawson Knox fares against the linebackers. He's going to be out there against one of the best ever to do it, and Bobby Wagner. His pass coverage hasn't been as good the past couple years, but I think that'll be one of the more interesting matchups. I think that's a spot, the linebacker core, where they might be able to take advantage of. What I think it's going to end up coming down to is I think that the Bills have so many guys that they can throw at you defensively. And I think what's going to make this game close is the fact that Tre'Davious White will be out, if I do recall, for this game. But I still think that the Bills are going to get out to lead. I think they're going to be able to use a lot of their underrated players in the short packages against those linebackers. Underrated guys like Khalil Shakir, Jameson Crowder's really good catching balls from the slot. And I think Gabby Davis might come out here and have himself a big game. A lot of people sleep on him. His target share is going to go up this year, while, Jalen Ramsey's going to be preoccupied with Stefon Diggs. I think it's going to leave heavy opportunities for Gabriel Davis to kind of do whatever he wants. I think the opposing corner and their depth at corner is not that deep for me. So I think that they're going to be able to take advantage of the Rams through the air. I'm not a big fan of their safeties either, and I think they're really going to be able to protect Josh Allen here. The only thing I don't like is they're going to be starting two younger guys at corner. I think that could give them problems in terms of, it's gonna give them matchup problems. They got to go up against one of the best wide receivers in the league. But I do think Josh Allen's going to come out and have a big game here. I wanted to just make it a pick'em game, but I'm just kind of feeling the Bills in this game over the Rams. I have a weird feeling that they're going to go in there and take the Rams out. I mean, it could swing either way. I flipped back and forth on it. I thought about taking the Rams because Tre'Davious White won't be in this game, but I don't know. I like how well-rounded the Bills team is. Also, keep hearing rumors that Matt Stafford is laboring or recovering from an injury, and that he hasn't practiced all that much. I don't know how true that is. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. I definitely think this game's going to be close. I wanted to make it a pick'em. I really did, but I just do think that coming out of the gate, I think Von Miller's going to be a big factor. Remember, the Rams also don't have Anthony Whitworth anymore. He retired, so ideally this game's going to be a pick'em, and I know no one likes pick'em, so since it's super close, I think I'm going to go with the upset here. I think, people think it's an upset, but I think the Rams are favored to win this game in some spots. I've also seen the Bills favored to win this game in some spot, so this is going to be one of my close calls here, but I'll take the Bills minus 120 over the Rams plus 110. So this is one of the easier games for me to pick. I really love the Ravens in this spot against the Jets, mostly because Joe Flacco is playing, and I do think the Ravens are going to be one of the better teams. The Jets defense, although it has a lot of really good players, I think they're really young, and they're just not experienced. They're about to go against an offense this weekend that's just layered with a bunch of guys that are back and healthy, a lot of RPO stuff, a lot of confusing different packages that the Ravens like to use, and I think they're not going to be able to contain Lamar Jackson. This could be a game where Lamar Jackson could possibly, run for 100 yards. I think they're going to try to run the ball with Lamar Jackson and layer in some medium passes. I think the tight ends have a shot at eating because I do like some of the young linebackers on this team, but I don't think they can cover. C.J. Moses is going to have his hands full with Adrian Thomas, and it's going to open up lanes for guys like Isaiah Likely to get open. Look for him to make a couple plays. I also just think offensively, the Jets don't stack up well against this Ravens defense. They're deep at corner. They have athletic linebackers. Their run defense is stout, and I think that the Ravens are going to be a hefty favorite here and take the Jets out. They'll probably beat them by over a touchdown for sure. I don't know. I kind of want to do the point spreads, and if anyone can leave any comments in there if they want me to start putting the point spreads. I mostly bet on fighting, so I'm kind of doing these odds the way I would do the fighting odds. But, if people want me to start doing the point spreads, I'll do the point spreads if people prefer that. This game is definitely a full touchdown. I mean, I would favor the Ravens by over a touchdown in this game. I think the Jets can make it tough. Like I said, their defense is young, but it is they do have talent. I think it's a good litmus test for Amon Gardner, too. He's going to be going against a Rashad Bateman, a second-year player versus a rookie. I think that Sauce Gardner could possibly be a candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So it's actually an interesting matchup. You got the mix of youth and veteran leadership and dynamicism with the Ravens versus, the overall youth of the Jets. And I have a feeling that the pass rush is just probably going to fucking destroy Joe Flacco, clip him at the knees. Who's their backup? Trace McSorley? I don't know. I like the Ravens minus 300. So Colts and Texans, this is one of the games with the biggest gaps for me. I just don't think the Texans are really all that good, and they're especially not good, in run defense. I think they could possibly, you could see some, sneaky pass defense here with some of the young corners they got that are underrated, but I think that it's going to be a typical Colts game. I think the Colts are going to play defense and just run the ball down their throats. This is a game where Jonathan Taylor could come out hot and get a lead, and the rushing leaders race here. I just think the Colts are going to smash the Texans. Not a good game to start off here with your Lovie Smith. The Colts are just talented at all different levels of the defense. They have a pretty good offensive line. They should be. This is one of those games the Colts should be easily just be able to back the bus up, run the football, play that conservative defensive style game. Matt Ryan will probably be efficient. He's not going to need to take a lot of risks in this game. I think it's a safe bet. Colts at minus 330. So here's a game, and a lot of people, the odds are wider, but I have the odds closer here. I'm actually going to be at this game this weekend on September 11th. Steelers at Bengals. For me, I have the odds a little bit closer than some of the spots. I have Steelers plus 250, and then the Bengals the favorite at minus 280. I really think that this game is going to go similar to how the last two games went with the Steelers. They simply just can't stop us really from passing the ball. They don't have any really good corners. They have a safety that's solid, and Minka Fitzpatrick. The front seven's really good. But Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks in the league against the blitz in terms of pickup and accuracy. And overall, he was the most accurate quarterback last year, 72% passing. I do believe that we're going to throw the football all over this team this weekend. But I do think that, the Steelers will be tough on both sides of the ball. I mean, they got a lot of good skill players that have to be accounted for. You have, their wide receivers are really good with Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and now added with the rookie in there, George Pickens. They also have Pat Freiermuth, but their quarterback play, I highly doubt Trubisky's going to come out and knock anyone's socks off. I mean, those two guys are probably upgrades over Big Ben at this point, but I see this game being over. We'll probably win by over a touchdown. I like the Bengals minus 280. I think defensively we're going to beat this team up. They have a bad offensive line, and I think the Bengals are going to score a lot of points. 49ers versus Bears. So I've seen people pick the Bears here in an upset, but that's a little bit too rich for my taste, especially early in the year against one of the best teams in the league. I really think this system is frosty at all times. This 49ers, Kyle Shanahan system that they have here, I think they're going to come out of the gates hard and swinging. I think they're going to be efficient as long as Trey Lance doesn't make any mistakes. I really think they'll easily walk away with a winning here against the Bears. It's going to be an interesting test for Justin Fields to see what he can bring out here as a rookie. Not that great of an offensive line, not that great weapons. I mean, I feel like if anything, the defense, they have a lot of solid young defenders. I feel like if anything, the defense could be tough there. They still have Roquan Smith, Jalen Johnson, two guys that are just efficient and make plays. But I just think that the 49ers will run away with this one, probably by over a touchdown. So I like the 49ers minus 270. So this is one of my games that could be, I think that could be a potential blowout game. A lot of people, including myself, think the Falcons might be fun offensively, but the Falcons, in my opinion, probably won't stop many people defensively this year. Even though I like some of their young pieces, I just don't think they have enough experience. If Jameis Winston, comes out here and plays well and doesn't turn the ball over, they could easily blow the Falcons out. I mean, they're going to be able to do whatever they probably want to this defense offensively, as long as Alvin Kamara plays. The wide receivers on the boundary really good. Michael Thomas, one of the best offensive lines in the whole entire league, and especially defensively. This defense, front seven, and they're going to eat this team alive. I don't think the Falcons are going to be able to run the ball on the Saints, first off. And as you know, half of these teams in the NFL, they come out and they try to quote-unquote establish the run, but I don't think that the Falcons have the juice to throw it through the air, especially against a team like this. This might be the best secondary in the NFL this year, and the Falcons aren't equipped to face it. So the Falcons are going to find themselves in a hole early, and they're going to be in trouble. I like the Saints minus 230. So here's one of my upset picks that I know not a lot of people are going to like. I really do like this Panthers team. I know last year we kind of liked the Panthers team, but Sam Darnold took a shit on us, pretty much. This team is bringing back a lot of the same players. They upgraded the offensive line a little bit in the draft. They bring in Baker Mayfield, who's a lot better than any quarterback that's allowed to play right now for the Browns. I think if this team rolls in here healthy, I agree with some of the pundits. Baker sounds like he's fucking pissed. There's rumor going around saying that Baker was like, I'm going to fuck them up and all the shit. I fucking love Baker Mayfield. He has the arm talent and the intelligence. Dude throws darts. He's accurate. Let's just hope that the Panthers can protect him this season. With underrated, they have a really underrated wide receivers out there with their slot Marshall, who was a rookie last year. They have Moore out there, who's very underrated. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He can go deep. He can be your possession guy. He can do a little running after the catch. But where I really think that this team is going to shine this coming weekend is I think the defense is going to step up. This defense is an underrated defense. They're good at corner. They're good at both safety positions. They're solid at linebacker. Their pass rush is pretty underrated. I definitely think that they're going to get after Jacoby Brissett this weekend, even though they have a really good offensive line. Jacoby Brissett holds on to the ball too long, makes bad decisions. As long as if they can buckle up their chin straps and stop the run, this is going to be a close game. I like the Panthers -110. So Eagles versus Lions. This is one of the more interesting matchups here, the Eagles versus the Lions. I have the line a little bit closer than some spots, I feel like. A couple spots that I trust had the line around this close. Obviously, I'm making up my own lines here. I expect the Eagles to win this football game, but I think it's going to be a good football game. I actually think this game could possibly be a lower scoring game because I think the Lions are going to play improved defense. I think their front seven is looking kind of crispy out here with their pass rushers and some of the guys they've picked up in that front seven. The real question mark is, they have talent on the back end. Who's going to show up? Tracy Walker. The third is Jeff Okudah going to live up to his expectations. I also think that they have enough of the skill positions where if Jared Goff can just not turn the ball over, I think they can be competent on both sides of the ball. However, I do like the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles are going to be very good on defense this year. I think the Eagles' offensive line is just going to push people around all over the place. They're possibly going to be top 5 in rushing again this year, especially with their backs healthy. I like Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to roll into Detroit and get the win -200. Patriots and the Dolphins. So I really think that Miami is probably going to beat up the Patriots this weekend. Like I said it in the power rankings, people are sleeping Miami. They think it's a joke. If Tua takes one deviation further into his development, I think this team's going to be scary. And I think people are forgetting how good this team is on defense. I think that this team's going to be one of the better teams in the league this year. I really think they're going to be fucking hard-nosed. They're going to shut the run down over the weekend. And they're going to wear this Patriots team down because the Patriots team, they're not explosive. Mac Jones has no targets to throw it to. He's not the type of dude to wing it down the field either. So I really think that right now the Patriots roster is not built to play modern football. I know there's more than one way to skin a cat, and yeah, with the Patriots' current roster and the way they like to play football, sure, they can win football games. They made it to the playoffs last year, but they're going up against a team whose coach and GM has really started to figure out how to build a fucking football team. If Tua takes a leap, this team's going to be nasty. I love the Dolphins here, -185. It's probably going to be over a touchdown they'll win by. Here's one of the upsets I have. I have Jacksonville Jaguars going into the Washington Commanders and taking them out, -125. I think this game is going to be a close game. I just think that with Doug Peterson, a proven Super Bowl winning coach who knows how to coach offense, knows how to coach quarterbacks, I really think everything that this team went through last year with all the bullshit with Urban Meyer, I really think this team's going to be revitalized. They're going to come out. They're going to play hard on both sides of the football. Underrated offensive line. Trevor Lawrence is going to come out in this game. He's going to show why he was worth the number 1 overall pick. A lot of people are sleeping, acting like he's garbage. I just don't trust the Commanders, and I think the Commanders have a lot of talent for nothing. They're just one of these teams where they have talent on both sides of the ball, but they can't put it together. Trevor Lawrence is going to come out. He's going to outplay Carson Wentz. They're gonna walk away probably with. I say it's going to come down to less than a touchdown. It could be a field goal game, but I like Jacksonville to go in and upset the Commanders this weekend. So Giants at Titans. So I was looking around at the odds, and these odds are similar to the odds that I've been seeing. One thing I do like about the Giants is I do love how hard the defense plays. I think that this game's going to be a low-scoring, like slobber knocker style game. I think that the Giants' young players are going to come. They're going to come into Tennessee. They're going to play really tough. They're going to play really hard. It seems to me like they really love Brian Daboll and the new regime there. I think that even with losing Harold Landry, I think that people don't realize how good this Titans defense is. They're one of the better rush defending teams last year, and they brought a lot of those key guys back in terms of defending the run. They have one of the best young D tackles in the league. They have a solid linebacker core. I love Mike Vrabel as a coach, the way he schemes defenses up. I just think that he's got like a little Mike Tomlin-ish vibe to me. I feel like even though the Texans lost Harold Landry, lost A.J. Brown, I think they're going to still be in the mix, and I think they're going to push and possibly win the division. Like I said, they were close. They were neck and neck in the power rankings for me against the Colts. So I like the Titans in this game. I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Look for both these teams to come out here and kind of just see. I think it's going to be a game where you're going to see who they're going to try to break each other's will. They're both going to come try to play some tough-nosed defense. They're going to run the football. And I really think it's just going to come down to whose will breaks. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'll take the Titans. I think it Titans by, probably a touchdown. I'm interested to see what the Giants got coming out of the gate here. I think Daniel Jones is probably going to struggle in this game because the offensive line, especially the interior offensive line, is not that great. And the Titans have some good interior players like Simmons. I just think it's going to be a tough one for Daniel Jones. So interesting game. Looking forward to it. Titans minus 250. Chiefs versus Cardinals. So this game is one of the more interesting games to me. I'm interested to see these two high-flying offenses go at it. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I really think both teams are going to put up a lot of points. Like I said, the Chiefs can be had on the back end. And I think there's specific holes here and there in certain parts of the Cardinals defense where there's just not enough experience or high enough caliber players. Like I do like some of their defensive personnel. I just think they're not strong enough in like some of the spots that really matter. Like I don't think they're that strong on the edge. It's going to give Patrick Mahomes a lot of time to kind of knife up their defense. But I definitely think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I could see it being like Cardinals score in the high 20s and the Chiefs score probably in the 30s. But I like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs minus 230. Packers and Vikings. Here's another one of my upset picks. So I do think, as you can see by the odds, this game's going to be super, super close. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. I think even though both of these teams are going to play really good defense this year, I feel like both of these teams might score some points here. We got to see how this Vikings run defense holds up because, sometimes this Vikings run defense can be a little shaky and inconsistent. I like this. I'm interested in seeing the new offensive system and how they move Justin Jefferson around to get mismatches. He's going to be going up against arguably the best corner in the league, depending on who you talk to. But I just think that the Vikings offense is going to be fucking potent this year. With all their weapons, their offensive line is improved. And I think they'll score enough and get themselves in a position to win via a late field goal. I think Aaron Rodgers obviously will make a valiant effort, but I think it's going to be his weapons and his weapons that do him in the end. I just don't think the weapons are good enough to win in this game. I'll take the Vikings minus 110. Raiders versus Chargers. So this was one that I think could be a blowout game. As I spoke about with the Raiders before, all the pundits and the brass think that the Raiders are super fucking good. They could possibly have the worst defense in the league next year, in my opinion. They have a terrible offensive line. This is a chance for the Chargers to get out ahead and make a statement in their race for trying to win this division. I think the Chargers are going to stifle the run in this game. Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are two of the best run defending defensive ends in the whole entire league. I really think that the Raiders are going to have to fucking shoot their way out of this one. Or the Raiders are going to have to shoot their way out of this one. The Raiders are going to have to be on point offensively. They're going to have to attack the Chargers through the air. I just think the Chargers offense and the Chargers defense is just way too good for this team. Honestly, I gave modest. I was being nice with this line. I wanted to go into the minus 300s for the Chargers and get that plus a little closer to 300, but it's tough. I mean, the Raiders they're going to score enough points to be, trying to fight for, position there, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Chargers, this could be blowout alert right here. Chargers minus 250. Buccaneers at Cowboys. Here's another close game. I'm taking the Bucs minus 135, but it's closer than people think. When you look at the way these teams match up stylistically, the Bucs, in my opinion, are going to struggle to run the football against this team because the Bucs lost two of their primary guys that aid in their run defense. Ryan Jensen was the best, had the best rushing, run blocking grade last year at the center position. They also lost Alex Kappa to the Bengals, but they did get Shaq Mason back, and then their left guard went down. I think they're going to struggle to run the football against the Cowboys. They picked up Anthony Barr. I think their front seven with some of the guys they've added and some of the younger guys. There's a younger gentleman on this Cowboys team who just got drafted this year, and rumor is he's going to be starting for them at defensive end, and I forget his name because I've only seen flashes of him. But they're going to be able to move Micah Parsons around more and hopefully play him in the middle a little bit more. And at times when they get into pass rushing situations, they're going to be able to put Parsons on the edge and let Barr and Vander Esch fill in at the Mike and Will. So I think this Cowboys defense is going to be better this year than people think, and I think that's the thing that people are missing. I know Tyron Smith went down. They replaced him with a gentleman who, even though he is 40, is still grading out in the 70s and 80s in pass pro, which is interesting because we're starting to see offensive linemen play well into their 30s. Anthony Whitworth was a Pro Bowler last year at left tackle for the Rams. He was 40. They bring in Jason Peters, who's had injuries, but like last year for a bad Bears team, he posted a 77 pass pro grade. So if you were to tell me you lost Tyron Smith and then you brought in a guy who, based off his recent projections, is still protecting, has a high level pass pro, a high rating in pass pro, can still get out there and pass protect. With a team that's going to pass the ball a lot, like this Cowboys team, you're not in as bad as a position as you think. The rookie Tyler Smith can play guard. People forget they still have one of the best centers in the league. They still have one of the greatest guards ever in the league. They have a really underrated right tackle in Terrence Steele. And CeeDee Lamb's going to light the league up this year, mark my words. They got a lot of weapons. I think this game will be close, but I still think that what will end up happening is, mark my words, the Cowboys will try to, quote-unquote, establish the run like they always do in the first half and get themselves into a hole against the Buccaneers, who have the best front seven in football and who will throw the ball instead of run the ball and get a lead, and they won't be able to get that lead back fully anyways. I think that, Cowboys will probably get in a hole and start passing it when they should have passed it sooner, and they'll make the game competitive at the end. But I like the Bucs by probably like a field goal, just like last year. I think the Cowboys will show that they're tough in defeat. It's rough for the Cowboys because they could probably start out 2-1 in the first three. I think they'll beat the the Giants when they get to them, but who knows? Everything's been going on with the Bucks. Don't sleep on the Cowboys in this matchup. They almost got them last year. I think Amari Cooper being gone is not going to be that big a deal for the Cowboys. Dak's a beast. But I still like the Bucks. Bucks by field goal. And I'm pretty sure that this is the final game. Broncos versus Seahawks. This is, to me, is for sure going to be one of the blowout games. This is going to be a blowout. I think the Broncos are going to absolutely destroy the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to be terrible defensively this year. They've lost all their good defensive players. Their front seven's absolutely garbage. They got some decent, young guys, on the back end, but man, the Broncos offensively are going to be able to do whatever they want to this team. Absolutely whatever they want to this team. They're probably going to showcase Javonte Williams a lot, mix in some passes, take shots down the field. I really just think that they're just going to, I think this might be kind of like a practice game. We're just going to open up the playbook and test everything. Seahawks, Pete Carroll, they'll probably try to run the ball early to death like Pete Carroll always does, and it ain't going to make a difference because they're going to be in a hole. I feel bad for DK Metcalf. If I was him, I wouldn't have signed there. But, yeah, I like the Broncos to blow out the Seahawks. And I think that's the Monday Night Football game. But, yeah. So, those are my predictions for Week 1. Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections, whether you agree, whether you disagree. Excited. I'm really excited for tomorrow. This game between, like I said, the Rams and the Bills. I had a hard time figuring out, and even as you could tell if you go back and watch it, I still have a hard time. I think the teams both match up so well. I think if there's one place the Rams can take advantage of the Bills is the fact that Tre'Davious White is not going to play. If the Rams win, it's going to be because they take advantage of the young corners. Kaiir Elam is making the start. So, we'll see what happens. I'll be rooting for the Bills. And then my girl and I were heading out Saturday morning on a road trip to go all the way out to Cincinnati to watch the Bengals. I've never been to the Bengals Stadium, which is now Paycor Stadium. I told her, I'm like, we should just go at least once if you want to go. At least once. Go see the stadium. Have fun. It's an experience because she's never been to an NFL game. So it's going to be an experience for her. But I've always told her the best seat in the house is still the couch. You get to see all the angles. You can relax. You can have your food. There's no one fucking screaming in your face. You don't get any fights like Chad and his dad and I did at the fucking last Bill game we went to. That shit was fucking wild. But, yeah, so very excited. You guys can find me at Mr_NastyTime on my Twitch. Mr_NastyTime here on the YouTube, obviously. I'm going to, like I said, I've been promoting my buddy Chad's channel, Bill's Bets and Beers. You're going to find that link in the description. Check out his channel. He's going to talk about a little more in-depth bets. I'm putting up betting odds that are just showcasing who I think is going to win, like the favorites. They're my own personal betting odds. I'm just making them up based off what I think is going on with the teams. Chad's going to go more in depth on his channel where he's going to be doing all kinds of wild bets, like same game parlay bets. First he's going to have bets like who's the first kicker to throw a touchdown in the fourth quarter, whatever, just wild ass bets. So he's more into showcasing the bets, and he's also gonna be talking about his good old IPAs. He loves those things. So yeah, get over to his channel, support him. I'm gonna be moving everything to YouTube soon, so watch out for that. I'm gonna be doing all my streaming for video games on YouTube. Hopefully we can have a podcast talk about video games soon. So yeah, hopefully weekly content coming out of this channel. So buckle up, buckle your chin straps. We're going to see the games this week, see what happens. Hopefully it's in high intensity, high trauma. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about these games. I'll holla at you.